Welcome back to the Valley Homestead with me, Andy. This week we are taking a look at how we feed all 109 of our animals. We currently have 5 quail, 4 ducks, 4 geese, 9 guinea fowl, 29 broilers, 5 pheasants, 22 chickens and 35 rabbits. We also have 2 cats and a dog, but I didn't count them here. In this video we're looking at what I feed them now, but I also have a really cool video coming up, so don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to be trying to make my own chicken food and seeing if it's possible to grow enough food to feed them for a year. This noisy bunch are the guineas, and to be honest, I don't really feed them anymore. They run around the garden all day, chasing around all the insects, bugs and everything else that they want. They have a common feeder, which you're about to see, which I fill with grain and sunflower seeds. And occasionally I'll see them there in the afternoon, but they're just not that interested. Especially this time of year. In the winter, it's a different story. They will stay in the house for as long as possible and only come out to eat some of the food provided. The geese are always in this feeder. And this really is just a multi-purpose feeder that the ducks, geese and guineas all have access to all of the day. This is a pellet feed that I give to our quail. Given that we only have 5 quail and they really don't eat that much, I just leave them on a buffet style. It's a non-GMO feed, and to be honest, it's not really a choice that we've made, it's just that our local food mill only produces non-GMO feed. This one has 24% protein, and that's pretty much spot on for these quail. Unfortunately, the camera seems to have scared them a little bit, and they weren't that hungry. This lot, on the other hand, will eat anything you put in front of them. These are our broilers that you saw arrive a couple of weeks ago. We had 31 originally, and we've had 2 that haven't made it this far. But these ones that have are just looking amazing. This is what we're feeding them. It's just a broiler mix, again from the local feed mill. And this one happens to be 20% protein. Of course, with all the animals here, we give them anything extra that we can. And in this case, it's a nice chunky zucchini. We've had so many zucchini this year, I've lost count. The freezer is full. We've given away probably nearly 100, and we still are producing more. So it's been great extra feed for the animals, and they go absolutely crazy for it. In fact, you can see here, they prefer it even to the broiler feed. I'm sure by now a lot of these pellets are just looking the same to you, and in that case you'd be correct, because these are the same pellets that we feed the quail. These are for the pheasants, and again unfortunately they were too scared by the camera. I did try to gently coax them round towards the food, but they just weren't interested and ended up getting just a little bit crazy. The combination of me in one end of the enclosure and the camera in the other end was just a little bit too much for them, and I need to be a little bit more careful in the future. It's pretty hard to tell you exactly what our laying flock eat because they have such a varied diet, but I'll give it a go. They have a layer feed, they have grain, they have sunflower seeds, they have zucchini every day at the moment, They also have the sunflower heads that I've been taking the seeds off, along with any kitchen scraps, and most days if I'm home I will let them out to free range in the garden as well. I really find when they free range, the quality of the eggs just goes up and up. This is the layer feed that I was talking about. It is available in the pellet form, but I just find, especially with the new layers coming on all the time, they just prefer having something smaller. And this is the crushed sweet corn and sunflower seeds. This is part of my project of trying to create my own chicken feed. Of course there's so much more that goes into it, just in the corn and sunflower seeds, but it should give you an idea of what's coming up in that video that I mentioned. You may notice a guinea fowl sneaking in on the right. This guinea fowl was born this year under a chicken, and while it does have the option to live with the guineas, it's just decided that it wants to be a chicken, and I'm not going to tell it where to live. I did try, it just flew back here every day for a week. I generally find that all of the zucchini skins, sunflower heads and stuff like that just tend to slowly disappear over time, so I just leave it in here for them. Our ducks are on another pellet feed, again from the same mill. This one is 19% protein, and to be honest, it's fairly rare that I catch the ducks eating the duck food. Normally, it's either the guineas have jumped over the fence, or the geese have managed to get through one of the gates. These ducks just prefer the natural food that's around them. They'll spend some of their time in the pond, and the rest of the time sifting through the grass and weeds, and that seems to be where they're the happiest. Coincidentally, at the moment we only have one duck who will swim, and that's the young mallard on the right who was born here last year. The rest of them, I guess, grew up further away from water and just have no interest in swimming. We currently have 35 rabbits. For a while we were up over 40. However, most of the first batch from this year have now been sold. Some of them have gone as breeding stock, and some of them have gone as pets. These guys in the morning get a nice big pile of hay, and in the evening they get some pellets. In spring I feed them on a lot of grass, and this time of year I give them quite a lot of apples as well. I am aware that giving rabbits apples and these other things over a long period of time can cause some health problems. But in all honesty, none of these rabbits are going to live past 6 months. So I feel that a few treats are in order. Generally for an adult rabbit, they get about half a cup of pellets in the evening. We are very lucky in that we're surrounded by hay fields on 3 sides of the house. It makes it super simple when we need to buy hay. We just asked the farmer to leave us a couple of bales in the field, and you may have seen that video a couple of weeks ago where we collected them. This lady on the left is one we're considering keeping for our breeding program. Not so much because of her colour, but just because she has such a lovely temperament. What do you think? Which one should we keep? I've tried feeding our geese many different things. When they were younger, they would eat a little bit of the starter food, but all they ever really wanted was enough grass. Now I lock them out in the pasture at the end, which is about 500-600 square meters, and they sit there munching on the grass all day. And even if I do put some corn or chicken starter or anything else out for them, they just ignore it. Of course, the best food for the animals is the free food, and by that I mean the grass, the bugs. At the moment we have a lot of apples coming down from the tree, and particularly the guineas and chickens will sit pecking away at these. And here there's some plums, which happen to be a guinea fowl favourite. Lastly, I do have a couple of things that I add in, and that are a couple of these Nutrimixes. I use them for the ducks, the chickens and the rabbits, very much on an as and when needed basis. As always, thank you very much for watching, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, like, and leave us a comment down below. We will catch you all next week.